Welcome back, folks, to the next episode of Nariyama's Let's Play Minecraft version 1.12 of Direwolf 20's mod pack. This is episode 20, and at the end of this episode, hopefully we will be at about 5,000 RF a tick generation. There were a couple things I wanted to mention that I didn't mention last episode. First of all, take a look at our wood stockpile here. We're at 12,000 wood already. I've only let the game run a few minutes since the last episode, so we're getting wood at a very good rate. So right now, each of these produces 6,000 or 600 RF a tick, and this one produces 360. So right now we're at about 2,100 RF a tick production, which isn't bad. I'm looking to add about 4,000 RF a tick after we get this setup going. So this episode is going to be all about advanced generators and how to set up a syngas producer and then a gas turbine RF or generator that can generate RF. It can generate IC2 power, so like low, medium, high voltage, all that good stuff. So one of the things I did between episodes is process up a bunch more iron because this mod takes a lot of it. So we're gonna grab all this out of here. Sure, we'll just grab everything and shove it into the refined storage system. All right, there we go. Okay, so advanced generators. So there's two machines that we're going to make, both of which are multi-blocks. I'm going to go ahead and just sort of prepare to have this area opened up. Oh, I completely forgot about the water there. Yay, I just basically destroyed all of the... that annoys me. Alright, let's block that off. We can go ahead and keep opening this, but we're going to need 2, 3. Alright, that opened that up, and we just need to fill this in. So let's go ahead and grab our building gadget. Let's mark some dirt and change the... Oops, I want to change the thing to surface. There we go. We'll go ahead and make it as big as we can. There we go. Alright. And poof. No more water. There we go. I'm curious how many torches I lost. It doesn't look too bad, actually. We certainly lost a few. But it looks like most of them were high enough that it didn't affect it. Awesome. How many did we lose? 2. 2 torches total. That's not bad. Alright. Coming back up here. Go ahead and excavate this back out. Good stuff. Let's throw that one in there to split again. So we've got about 470 buckets of starlight, so that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. There we go. And I'll just clear this out manually. Thanks to Monk, we do this pretty quickly. I am planning on continuing the monk progression here fairly soon. Did I make a mess out here? No, I didn't. Good. Alright. So, advanced generators. So I've got a big laundry list of things that we need. So the first thing we're going to make, and actually it's going to go on the other side over here, is the syngas controller. So I'll explain why it's going on that side, but we'll get there in a second. So the syngas producer controller. Now this tells you the pieces of the multi-block you need. The first piece you need is the controller itself. So we need a iron frame, a pressure valve, a control circuit, a redstone iron wiring, some iron tubing. We're going to just make a ton of each of these. So iron frame, we're going to make like 2 stacks of each of these. There we go. Iron tubing, same thing. We get a ton of them. So like, 2 iron and a stick gets us 16 of this iron tubing. So we're not using all that much iron to do this. We'll get the redstone one. There we go. Okay. Control circuit. We don't need a ton of these. We'll just get a few. We'll just start with 1. That's fine. I did have one over here too. I mostly put this here to show that these are the things for the gas turbine and these are the things for the syngas controller. Alright, so let's make the syngas controller. What are we missing? Oh, pressure valves. Yeah, let's make a bunch of those too. Oh, I guess I ran out of... see, I already ran out of iron tubing. Alright. 2, 3, 4, there we go. Let's make some more of that iron frame. Yeah, using up lots of iron to do this, but that's okay. Alright. So I got that. Syngas controller. And we need some heating chambers and some mixing chambers. So heating chambers changes how fast it heats up and how quickly it'll consume carbon to heat the stuff in the multi-block. Mixing chamber is how quickly it will produce syngas. Now, you need about the correct ratio. So 1 heating chamber will supply about 2.5 mixing chambers. So usually I do 4 heating chambers and 10 mixing chambers. But we'll get there here in a second. So let's toss this down. We're not going to stick it right on the wood supply there. We're going to usually put this at about eye level if you're standing on the floor. So there we go. Now we need some other things here. So I've kind of listed them out. Mixing chambers, heating chambers, I mentioned those. So we're going to make 4 of these. We're going to make 10 of these. We need a fluid intake valve. We're going to actually need, just 1 fluid intake valve. And that's going to intake water. And then we need a fluid output valve for the syngas. And we need an item input port to get the wood into the multi-block. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. We need 1 item input port, 1 fluid intake, 1 fluid output, 4 heating chambers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 10 mixing chambers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Now let's go over here. Actually, we're gonna pick this up for a second because we actually want this to be somewhere else. So let's first stick down the heating chamber or the mixing chambers. We'll put 6 of them down, and then we're gonna put the syngas producer on top of one of those. Okay. Now, where you put these blocks in the multi-block doesn't matter, and it doesn't have to have a particular shape. So let's put the item input over here because it's in a convenient spot there. We're actually going to break this and put the fluid output there. There we go. Let's put down some more of the mixing chambers. Oops. We're going to put the fluid intake right here. Where's that? There we go. Now this is going to take considerably more water than this one will. I think we'll still be good with 4 buckets every second from the aqueous accumulator here, but we should, keep an eye on this. And then we have another 6 blocks that we can place. We'll do 4 heating chambers and 2 mixers. There we go. So we have an 18 block structure. If we look here, we can see that it's, that we can configure the output. Right now it's taking, it doesn't have any steam or carbon, it doesn't have any water, it doesn't have anything basically. So let's hook it up. We need some fluid ducts. We're going to need those hardened fluid ducts too for the syngas. that should give it the water it needs. So you can see it's filling up with water. It has an internal reservoir of 32 buckets. That should be plenty for our needs right now. All right, let's stick one. Oh, whoops, wrong. Oh, that's right. Fluid output valve. Why didn't you like that? Output configuration. I'm curious how we fix that. I might have to hit it with a wrench or something. Let's try that. Wrench. Wrench? No, maybe not. Hey, there we go. All right. And what we're going to do is we're going to put a tank there. So let's go make ourselves a tank. Tank. Where are you? There you are. Make a servo, make a tank. And then we're going to go ahead and give it a hardened upgrade. Bronze gear, hardened upgrade. So one of the things we will do with refined storage at some point is set up auto-crafting. Now we're not doing it right now because auto-crafting takes a fair number of blocks, and we're going to move this whole setup at some point, so I'm not too concerned about it. But what we are going to do is basically use this as a surge volume. There we go. So that's 80 some, I think 80 buckets of volume to begin with. And then all we really need to do is give it carbon. So it doesn't need power. All it needs is the water, the carbon, and the and that's it. Sorry, water and carbon, and it will produce syngas. So we need to get some, not wrong one, iron ingot. Some iron nuggets. Let's make a resonant servo, because we want to get carbon out of this thing fast. So I did upgrade the other servos that we've got to resonant servos for this because, again, we want to get, like I said, the carbon out fast. Let's go ahead and grab an item duct. Throw that there. Throw that there. Turn it on, and poof. We are making syngas. So the first thing that's going to happen is it's going to fill up its carbon, and it's going to start heating up, right? So you notice 0.32 heat units per tick, and it's using 8 carbon per tick. 8 carbon translates to 8 spruce wood, right? Or I'm sorry, that is not the case. 8 carbon, I think each of these produces 1600 carbon. Yeah, carbon value 1600. Okay, so not doing a whole lot. All right, now we're making steam. Okay, the steam is gonna the steam and the carbon are gonna mix, and they're gonna produce syngas. So if you look, we're making 10 millibuckets per tick. Now, if we look in here, we can see we're getting syngas. Notice how much wood we're using, right? This thing just guzzles wood. Now we were at, what was it, 15,000 at the start of the episode, and we're still at 17,000, and it's continuing to go up. Once this fills up its backlog, it won't use carbon at the same rate. So right now it's using 500 carbon a tick, which means it's chugging through spruce wood. Again, once it sort of fills its backlog, it won't. Then what will happen is it will simply replace the syngas that gets used by the generator, which is going to go over here. And that is not going to be at the same rate as we're doing right now. Right now we're trying to fill up our expansion volume, and so it's making syngas as fast as it possibly can because it's effectively consuming it as fast as it can. The generator won't necessarily consume it that fast, but we'll see. All right, so let's move to the gas turbine controller. So this is going to be both a little less complex in that it only needs a few different things, and a little more complex in that those things take a little more effort to make. So we need another one of those control circuits. Let's make that. And then we should have everything else. There we go. Now, this looks like it can take a lot. And, you know, there's certainly a few things that we could put on here. Really, all we need are the turbines and a power output. And then something to improve the efficiency. So here's the power output, flux generator. We need a power I/O module. Two pistons. Can we try that again? Using different wood. There we go. Piston. Let's make a couple more. We'll make this. We'll go ahead and make the redstone reception coil, which I think is a little odd because it really should be transmission coil. But hey, who's counting? And get the flux generator. Then we want this fuel air mixture. This improves the efficiency up to 135%. There's another thing we can do with this. Let me pull it up here at advanced. We can make a gas mix compressor, 185%. Now, the problem with this is it needs 2 advanced pressure valves, which require advanced alloys, and the only way to make advanced alloys is in a compressor, an IC2 compressor. What we're going to do is we're going to add a power output from this that will let us connect a compressor, build one, make these advanced alloys, put the gas mix compressor on there, and then forget about this compressor probably for the rest of the series. We may use it for some other purposes later, but honestly, there's better tools. Anyway. Moving right along. So we do want a fuel air mixer. Let's see if we can build it. Hey, very cool. And then we want these manual turbines. So to do this, we need a manual turbine rotor. Each of these rotors requires 8 manual turbine blades. To get that, we get 4 blades from 5 manual. So if we go back to our thing here, 8 blades, 5 manual per 4 blades is 10 manual for the blades plus 1 for the ingot. So we need a total of 11 manual ingots for each of these. We want, I think we're going to start with 8 of these. So let's make some manual. To make manual, you take ardite and cobalt and combine them. So let's see if this will work. Sure enough. All right. Since there's no additional products for this, let's go ahead and cannibalize our, our speed upgrades there. We can take those out, stick those in, and now this will go much faster. All right, so while we're waiting there, let's go ahead and get our things set up here. So we needed the flux, oh, I forgot something. We also need a way to get the syngas in, which is that fluid intake valve. There we go. All right, so let's put that down at the bottom here. Let's put the flux generator right next to it, because we'll just do the flux generator on that side, or output to that side. And then let's put the gas turbine controller on top of that. Awesome. Now we should... requires at least 1 turbine. Okay, we'll get a turbine going there. Let's put the fuel air mixer down, and then the rest really is turbines. So let's get our manual ingots. Let's make some blades. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then we have 1, 2, 3 left. We can make 3 of these right now and set it up so that we start producing stuff. Whoops. There we go. 3, and what is that? Upgrade. Oh, I don't want the upgrade kit. I want the actual turbine. There we go. 2, 3. Awesome. Okay, so let's go put these down. 1, 2, 3. Now if we look at this, aha! We have liftoff. So if we whack that again, oh no, we need a servo there. That's what we're missing. All right. So if we, interestingly enough, if we pipe this out of the bottom, we wouldn't need a servo, but because we're not, we do. So servo, always on. There we go. We are producing power. Now, we're not sending it anywhere. So really, I mean, you know, this is not doing anything at the moment. What we need is one of our power cells with the proper card attached. So let's get the card. RF tools. Grab another card. Okay, if you recall, we take this, we stick it in here to link it. We come over here. We're going to put this below the generator. I think it'll still work. Set all sides to in. Oops. That was the wrong place to do that. All right. Link. And here? Are we? I don't think we're actually using this now. No, we're not. Oops. Okay, so pro tip, don't use your big drill to break things if you're not carefully controlling what's getting broken. Oops. On the other side, that is the first time I've done this, done that particular bonehead move this episode or this season, so I don't feel too bad. Where'd my gas turbine controller go? Okay. Nobody saw that. Nari derps for days. All right. So it looks like we can't go there, so why don't we just stick it right here. All sides set to in. Now this should be producing. Do I have to hit it? I might. There we go. That might be why it didn't work from this side either. Let's see if we can. Yeah, okay. Let's do that. Do that. Now are you working? 0 RF protect. Okay, well. Here. I think the easiest way to do this is just to break that. Now how are you doing? 0 RF protect. Set all sides to accept. Why is this not working? It should be. Always on. This is really weird. This should be working. Although it does say, I don't know, because right now it's not outputting. Let's try something else here. Let's put. Well, let's go back to this side here and try that again. In Bueller. Okay, what if we connected a cable like that? Ah, there it went. Okay, much better. All right, well, I'm not sure why it needs a cable there. We can do that. I think we're going to use a better cable, though. So let's see what we have available to us. That's thermal. Cryostabilized would be all kinds of fun, but, well, you have to have a resonant flux duct. So cryostabilized, this is kind of cool. Infinite RF per tick, very, very interesting. We don't need that good. Let's do redstone energy. Let's make some of these. Okay. I'm going to do a total of 12. There's a reason, because we're going to need some glowstone dust. So let's put a glowstone in here, crucible that up, and then stick these in here. So this is 12. That produces 250. All right, I think each of these needs, well, let's see how much it needs. Obviously more than 250. 500. Oh, shoot. I think I know what I'm doing wrong, and it's redstone, not... Oops. Okay, let's take that out. Let's grab a bucket. Oops. Well, I mean, at least I only wasted a total of 4 glowstone, right? That's a bonus. Yeah, all kinds of derps tonight. All right. I now have a bucket of energized glowstone. We might use that for a light source somewhere. All right. Let's try this again with the correct material. All right. 1, 2. So, redstone energy flux ducts. We threw some redstone in here. We get that. Now, I guess it took exactly 2, huh? So 22 more, maybe? Let's try 10 more and see if that makes 6. There we go. We do need to put that flux duct back because otherwise we're going to be in trouble. There we go. Sure enough, 6. Awesome. 12 more should make another 6, and we should be good to go. So what's nice about these transfer 9,000 RF a tick, which means as long as our thing there is... So what is this? Signalum flux duct is the redstone energy ones. Okay, so why don't we upgrade it to that just immediately? Since we have the signalum, we might as well throw those in there. Signalum plus 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Hey, and that was exactly how much signalum we had. All right, so this is going to transfer up to 16,000 RF a tick, which is way more than we're producing right now. So good to go. But what we can do is go get our manulin out of here, and we'll make another bit. There we go. Let's make some more of those turbines. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we made, what, 24 last time? It was 40, 44. We can do at least 1 more. There we go. Actually, I guess that was all we could make. Let's get those. Now we can use those to make some more turbines. 3 more. Okay. We'll use the stuff to make those. And stick those on our generator. That'll crank it up to 3,000 RF a tick. And then with 2 more pieces, 1, 2, we'll be at 4,000 RF a tick, which is where I wanted to be. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. And 1, 2. 1, 2. Perfect. All right, so we now have a little compact setup that's generating RF for us. And we've effectively tripled our RF output. So if we look at this, up to 4,000 RF a tick. Right now it's generating 0 because this is full. What we could do if we wanted to is simply turn this off. So if we go over here and say don't output there. Then we come over here and instead of saying in, say out. There we go. Now what's going to happen is this is going to supply the machine line, right? And it should be being supplied from here. So this will also give us a good idea of what our current base consumption is. And it's right around 1,000 RF a tick. The difference is we're using wood instead of coal. And we can generate effectively infinite wood. Coal we have to go dig up. So much better power source. And like I said, you know, the amount of syngas that we're producing is basically going to be enough to make up for whatever we're using here. So we're using at peak fuel consumption 3 millibuckets per tick. At our current is like, you know, between 0 and 1.5, right? So basically what this is going to do is it's going to self-throttle. It's going to produce enough power to keep the power cube full. Now, something we should point out here, this can take 5,000 RF a tick on each face. So as long as our consumption is 5,000 or less, this is fine. But once we start consuming more than 5,000 a tick, we're actually going to want to input on multiple faces here, and that'll work. There are some other things that we can do, but that's a pretty easy solution. Remember, we're not going to keep this here. We're going to, you know, go and build our base down in the Nether. We're going to, you know, basically pick all this stuff up, take it to our Nether base, and reassemble it there once we've got something, a structure that we, you know, are willing to live in. Notice this is completely backstuffed, so not quite completely, but we're pretty close to backstuffed there, and we've still got a ton of wood in there, so that's fine. All right, cool. Renewable energy. You know, pretty soon here we'll have solar panels, and yeah, no more consuming of these, you know, newfangled ores stuff. We'll just make power from wood. Otherwise, all right, folks. One thing I am gonna have to do, and notice this one has a stack limit of 32, and we are approaching that. So I am gonna have to put some. Actually, what I'll probably do is put a void upgrade on this. I don't really care about having a large storage capacity of this one. Also, either put a void upgrade on this or some other way of either increasing its capacity or when it's full, turning off the tree farm. And that's an interesting build. There's some redstone signals that you can produce that will turn on when this fills up and then turn back off when it's reached like a certain threshold. You can set that threshold to be things like 75%. So, you know, if I get up to 1,000 stacks and then say, all right, that's good, we'll turn off the plant sower so it no longer plants trees. And then what'll happen is, you know, the trees that are there will grow, the gatherers will harvest them, and we'll just have an empty plain until this gets down to whatever the threshold is. And at that point, it will turn the sower back on, it'll plant all those trees, the tree farm will basically start back up and refill that for us. That's a little in the future, but that's something that we should consider doing eventually. All right, folks, thank you for watching. We're making great progress here. This puts us, you know, pretty solidly in the middle of the mid game. The mid game goals that we haven't gotten yet. We haven't gotten automated mob farming yet, and we haven't gotten automated resource gathering. Automated resource gathering is usually about the last part of the mid game. So mob farms are pretty easy to set up, and we will probably set one up in the Nether in the next few episodes. I think probably the next 2 episodes are going to be building the structure in the Nether. I kind of want to show all of the different sort of techniques for making things that aren't just cobblestone cubes like what we have now. While a cobblestone cube is functional and we can walk around in it and use it for space and that kind of thing, it looks really bad. And making good-looking stuff is part of this game, I think. So let's show some cool techniques for doing that. Anyway, all right, folks, have a good one, and I will see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Bye.